So I just watched Inside Out 2, and I'm really excited, I guess, to like share my opinion on the movie. I know it's been a movie that came out a bit this year, but a while ago, and I finally was able to watch it at my job. I'm a babysitter, so I was able to watch it while the baby was napping. Because I've been wanting to see that movie, and I don't have Disney Channel, so it was a great opportunity for me to watch it. And because I also heard a lot of good things about it, so I want to share my opinion about it, just like talk about what the movie's about, and also connect it to another movie that I watched recently that was recommended to me as well, which I think like they go hand in hand. So yeah, with that being said, welcome to another episode of Mental Mediscope. We have another solo episode. Like I said, we're gonna be talking about these movies, and I'm really excited because I haven't done like a podcast while driving since Texas, and there's a bunch of traffic right now, and I've been listening to music for the past hour, so I'm like, how can I use my time more productively? And I thought, let's do a podcast episode on the move, especially since I'm not like driving. It's literally like 10 miles per hour right now or less. Like right now it's 3, so I think it's pretty safe. It's not the best lighting, and I also don't have the microphone, so I feel like I have to scream to do the episode, but hopefully the audio is better. Probably nobody's gonna watch, so it's all cool. We're just putting in the reps. So with that being said, and before we officially start the episode, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, share, all of that, because that supports the podcast. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, don't forget to subscribe there, to follow there, and then in Spotify you could also comment on like what you thought about the episode. So definitely do that, because I will read them. And yeah, with that being said, let's get started. So Inside Out 2. So if you guys watched the first one, it's pretty much of this. I don't remember the names of parents of the girl, but this girl, we in the first movie, if I remember correctly, it's like pretty much like her going through her emotions, blah blah blah, sadness, anger, disgust, fear, and joy. And then in the second movie, it's pretty much she turned 13. She's like a really good hockey player, and she's pretty going through that whole process. Like in the beginning, there's that scene where like where there's this red button going off as an alarm, and it says like everybody's asleep, like the emotions are asleep, so they wake up like, what the heck is that? And then they see it's like the what it reads is like puberty, so her puberty is starting, and Joy like pretty much like takes it out and like throws it to like that machine thing that she built where it's like you forget all about it, but that's not how puberty works, so it's still there. And so pretty much like this movie is about these new emotions that come in. So there's embarrassment, there's anxiety, there's envy, there's boredom I think it was, and I think that's it. And then nostalgia, but like she's like this really old person that they don't want there yet. So because of puberty, these new emotions come in, and like pretty much like the story that the movie tells is that she's hitting puberty, she's about to go to high school, so she's 13, and then she's really good at hockey, and then they have this game, and then this coach from high school coach comes to them and is like, oh, I want to invite you guys to this 3-day hockey camp thingy. Sorry, I have this gum and I need to throw this out because I can't talk with this. But so the coach invited them to the camp thingy because you guys are really good, blah blah blah, like I really want you there, I would love to have you there or whatever. And then we see the emotion, so they get invited, but then on their like, so she was invited, and then that night, that's when she hit puberty, supposedly. And then the morning, there's like so many mixed emotions, and then the emotions themselves, like anger, joy, all of that, they have these like this whole control panel where they like set the emotions. So when they will press them in the morning when she woke up, and like her mom told her like, oh, you need to wake up, like you haven't even packed your suitcase, whatever, they press these buttons, and then the emotion is amplified, it's intensified, it's more intense. So they're like, what the heck, I think the control panel is wrong. And then before she wakes up, actually, like this, they start like breaking down the whole headquarters thingy, because new emotions are coming in, so I need to expand or whatever. And the new emotions still haven't gotten there yet when she wakes up. But then like they start showing up like one by one, and they start like, then anxiety really is the one who starts to take over a lot. But it's like and like, long story short, for this movie is that she goes through this like whole roller coaster of emotions, and she starts like pretty much to forget who she is, and Joy is trying to make her remember. But then anxiety really takes over, because then there's this wanting to fit in, the expectations of other people, wanting to be liked, being like in a way, like in losing your friends as well, because they're going to a different high school, so like they won't be together in those 4 years. So it's like she's afraid to be by herself and all this stuff, and so she wants to make friends in that high school, especially with this girl in the hockey team who's like really, really good and like really admires her. So during these 3 days, she goes through this whole fluctuation of emotions, a whole roller coaster of emotions. And because anxiety is taking over, I don't know like what their pronouns are, but anxiety is pretty much like taking over and making her forget who she is, because then she makes really bad choices. Like, I mean, honestly, some of them were good and understandable and rational, but then it will take, like, anxiety will take it to the extreme. So for example, when they're doing when she just got out of the car from her parents, she pretty much she was able to meet this girl that forgot her name, Valerie or Val, something like that. She meets her because like they kind of bump into each other, and then she chooses her over her friends, like in like going to the locker room, instead of like calling them like, oh, like guys, come on, like I know the way. And then there's another scene with like she wakes up like super early so that she's like really good, and like she gets these thoughts, and anxiety kind of like makes her get these thoughts of like, if I'm not good enough, like nobody's gonna like me, and I'm not gonna have friends. If I don't have friends, I'm gonna be all alone, so I have to make them like me. And then they have this whole plan of making them like her. But with anxiety, it takes it to the extreme. So it's like, however much control you want to have, and especially when you're not being yourself and just pretending to be somebody else, it's not gonna work out long term. So they were having this hockey match, and she pretty much like, she woke up early. First of all, she woke up early to train, and which was a good thing, because like she's getting better, like she's getting her reps in. But then that led to anxiety in the game, where like she wanted to prove to the coach, she wanted to prove to the team that, you know, she got this, and like she's really good at playing hockey. And there was even a scene in the locker room where Joy is trying to like help out this girl, but because of like the circumstances, like the context, like it was not appropriate. Sorry, it was inappropriate to laugh at the moment, because it was kind of immature, or definitely not a moment. And in that case, anxiety could have like was right, in the sense like, you know, like, you guys got to be serious, blah blah blah. And because of that, kind of made them like train extra, like do extra trainings or something like that. And then that's when like her anxiety came in, because then she had to kind of like prove herself and she was at a bad start pretty much. But yeah, I think pretty much like how it ended. And I guess it's like I should have done a disclaimer of like spoilers if you haven't watched the movie, but it pretty much like ended with the emotions, because anxiety took over and put them into like this like jail thingy where like her deep darkest secret is there, like the things that she's pretty much like in denial of. Like she puts them, like they put them there, anxiety put them there, so they try to escape, they escape, and then Joy is trying hard to like fix this, but then there's this part, and that was really sad, where Joy's like, I pretty much like, I'm paraphrasing, I don't really remember, but it's like pretty much like I don't know how to fix everything, like I don't, like there's so much pressure, and like do you think I could, like being happy all the time is easy? A lot, because like she herself, she's pretty much like the leader of the group, and then people like the other emotions start to have compassion towards her, is like more empathetic, and they themselves also start taking more initiative. So that was really nice, because you can't be, it shows that you can't be happy all the time, and there are times where it's like you are frustrated and you are angry, and as much as you try to fix things, some things don't go, some things you can't control, and it's like sometimes you need the help of the emotions. Sometimes you just need to take a deep breath and say, okay, what can we do? I was about to close my eyes. I was like, that's not a good idea. So that was a really nice scene, and I think it was probably one of the scenes that made me cry. And then while they're pretty much like in a mission of like trying to go back to the headquarters, and like Sadness tries to go back to the headquarters by climbing that like tube thingy, and like she's trying to figure out like how to bring them back to the place. And through all of that, like there's a lot of scenes going where she keeps making the wrong decisions, in the sense of like she's not choosing her friends, she's doing things for the wrong reasons, she's pretending to be somebody else. She tries to steal the thingy where like the notes of the coach are, where it shows like is she good, is she not, so like she tried to steal those. I don't know if she actually did, because during that time I think the baby woke up, so I just paused it, but I wasn't like fully watching the movie. But yeah, she tried to do all these things, and then the emotions eventually got back to headquarters, and it was already like the Sadness had already like done, or like just try to fix it, because Embarrassment also tried to fix, like try to help Sadness out, and I was like, oh my god, that's so adorable. But then Anxiety really took over, and then that's when they were playing the last day of the scrimmage game, and that's where Anxiety really like was at its peak, because then she was trying to control everything, and she wasn't being a team player, she was just trying to prove her skills, which is fine. But this is scrimmage, like this, like it's not just about your skills, it's about how you can play it as a team. So because of that, like she kind of got into her head, and then she bumped into her friend who they haven't talked to in those past like day and a half, and they put her into the penalty box. And then while she was in the penalty box, she got really sad. Anxiety wasn't really able to like control like how she was feeling, so in her brain, and Anxiety kind of like became like a freaking tornado, and wasn't really able to stop it, and that became a panic attack for the girl. So that for me, that scene, I was like, oh damn, that's kind of crazy. And then you could see the hyperventilation, and all of these things where she is being hard on herself, like I'm not good enough, and then I think that's those scenes too, where in the beginning where Joy went to like these like hardcore memories, and kind of like they were like affirmations, like memories with affirmations, where it's like I'm good enough, I forgot, like I'm a winner, it was another one, something like that, where like they were good memories, and Anxiety transformed them into, or replaced them with negative ones, where like if I'm good at this, then people are gonna like me, type of I don't even know if they're affirmations, but they replace them with those thoughts. And so when Anxiety got really crazy and she got a panic attack, she thankfully joy like came back, and like the other emotions came back, but they would try to destroy like this thingy where it's supposed to be like herself, like her true self or something like that, or the person that she became, or like who she is pretty much. And they tried to destroy that thing that anxiety had created, because anxiety created a new one, but it was a negative one, and then joy replaced it with the one that she had, because that's the one that anxiety broke. And I'm like trying to organize this whole movie as much as I can while driving, but look at this sun, it's crazy. But when Joy tried to replace it, it didn't work out, because new memories and new the person she was becoming, like there were things from her past, but then there were like things that anxiety had also built up. So it was like this nice kind of thing of like good and bad, like a balance where like it's like that's her new self, I guess. So that was a really nice scene. And it was interesting. What I found funny was that all of this happened in just 3 days, where in real life I feel like that, like she took it really well, because she apologized to her friends. She was like, I'm sorry, blah blah, like I don't remember what she said, but she apologized to them. She's like, and they were cool with it, like they were still best friends, and they finished the game. I don't even know how the game finished, but when time goes on, like she already started high school, like she's friends with the other girls from the team, so she's cool, she's chilling, she's relaxed. And then you can see all the other emotions like working together, and when anxiety will like start rising, Joy and the others will like put him in this like massage chair, and I will give him his tea, and it's like, okay, like you just relax, like we got this. And like there's times where we will need you, but there's other times where like you could take it to the extreme, so it's like that's when you need to relax. And that was really nice, because that's what we have to do. And I think that was like when she got her panic attack, I think that's when I was also tearing up, because during those moments, especially maybe whether it be like anxiety attacks, or I've personally I've never had a panic attack, but I've definitely had a lot of like those funks and those sadness moments where we forget to remind ourselves of who we are, and like the things we've done and the amazing things we've done, and we get in our head and remind ourselves of all the bad that we've done, and that creates a whole it digs a deeper hole, where in this movie like she and like because of like emotions and herself, like she tried to remember who she was, and it's like, no, that you're gonna know that you've done good things. And that was really nice, because again we tend to forget those things and to do those things. So that was a really nice thing. But I think like the funny part was that she was able to learn that in 3 days, like the apologizing, the sharing the vulnerability of like why she felt that way, why she kind of like distanced herself, like, oh, you guys like told me you guys weren't going to the same high school, and that really I took it wrong pretty much, and I didn't know what to say, but you know, it was a sad feeling. So you know, she was able to express those things, and and I feel like for most of us that's not a 3-day process. And even when we are aware of it, we tend to avoid confrontation, we tend to avoid our feelings, and even we tend to forget who we are. And that's like a lot of us, where we've been conditioned throughout growing up of like this person who they want us to be, or whether it be like mix of society and family, friendships, all of that. But we tend to forget who we are, and we don't remember in just 3 days. Like it could take a while, and even now I still don't know who I truly am. And it can get you, because you forget. And thankfully I'm getting more into this thing where like I am learning more of myself, I am more conscious, and the things that I do that I may not like is like I'm I'm becoming more conscious about it, and I'm changing those things. But it's a whole process that we ourselves have to learn. Yes, we have thankfully we have resources now, like podcasts and all of that, where it can help us change our perspective and understand things more clearly. But just learning how to communicate, how to confront, how to set boundaries, how to set all those things, that's just so hard, and it's not a 3-day process. But just like how they were able to include all those stuff together, where it could be a movie where it's actually makes sense, and it's like what those 3 days are for her is like a whole decade for us. But you know, we're learning, and there's like everybody has their own thing. So like like their own, they all go through their own journey, we all go through our own journey, and like that's really nice too. And like we, at the end of the day, we all of us have to remember who we are, like our essence. But then there's also like things that the person, the individuals that we are becoming as well. It's like a whole mix. It's not just one thing or the other. It's like both things. Like whether it's a balance or not, I'm not really sure. But there's a lot of things that we forget about ourselves. So that was really, really nice about like that whole movie. I think it really depicted all of that really, really well. And that also reminded me of this other movie that I watched with what's the name of the movie? The Song of the Sea, or The Sea of the Song. It's also an animated movie. It's not in Disney. I think it's in Amazon Prime, but I think you gotta pay. But this movie is also like, it's like a folklore type of like, or Viking type of like culture, because it's not something that I knew about. But like pretty much like the mom is part of this like other type of species. Like I don't know how to explain it, but she's like another type of species. Like, you know how there's like the gods, and then the normal people, and then the gods, like something similar to that. So she pretty much like married a mortal, like a human person. So they had a kid. The kid was like was normal, pretty much. Like, didn't got like the genes of the mom, I guess. But then the mom was pregnant, and because she was in another like dimension or whatever, like, or another, she was from another species. She was in the verge of dying, because she had to go back. Not like she would pretty much like die. So she had to go back to the sea. And then like the baby was born, and then the dad like took care of the baby. But then the baby, because had the roots of the mom, she wasn't able to talk because she needed like something, or I don't know what it is. But well, I don't really remember like the real reason why the girl wasn't able to talk. But the brother pretty much like had a lot of anger towards her, because, or like put a lot of blame towards her, because he kind of blamed the girl for her mom like leaving them, and not really knowing what happened to the mom, because she just like left, and like left the baby, and like the dad took the baby, but she had to go, and never really explained anything. So he was pretty much angry. But then like the stories that the mom would tell him, he will remember, and then like they actually it turns out that they were actually true. But long story short, with that movie, like, go watch it if you want. But long story short, with that movie is that the grandma takes them like, because they live in this like little like literally like out of the city, like suburbs, like on top of this hill. And the grandma's like, there's no place for them, blah blah blah. And then she takes them, but then the kids don't like it there, and they escape. But throughout while escaping, like the mom had also given him this shell, and then the little girl steals it, or like grabs it from him. And when she plays it, like music starts coming in. So that's when that happens. That's when we know like the girl's actually like more towards the mom, or has roots more towards the mom, and has like these powers to kind of pretty much like break through, or break this curse that they had, because of this. And that's where like it's comparing it to Inside Out, because there's this like owl thingy where this owl who pretty much like trying to protect his son, which is also like looks like a human but from a different species, or like the same species of the other person, or something like that, pretty much like not from that dimension. And because she was trying to heal or trying to prevent him from feeling pain and going through this whole grieving thingy, she turned his son into a stone so that he didn't have to feel that emotion. And so she started doing that with a lot of those people in whatever dimension. So the girl was able to, by playing that, but she had to like sing the song to fully break the curse. But because she was she was becoming very weak, because she had to go back to the ocean with this like cloth thingy. So again, long story short, she ends up doing that. Like the girl ends up playing the flute, so she starts breaking the because pretty much like the owl puts them in this jar thingy, like puts the emotions in this jar. So by her playing that, she broke the jars, because you can't just break it by throwing them. It's just like you gotta break. She breaks them through playing the seashell thingy. So by doing that, she breaks the emotions, so those emotions go back to the owl, and the owl starts feeling those emotions, because she became that person. She lost herself because she didn't want to feel those emotions. So by not feeling those emotions, it made her into a very bitter person and wanted to control the other control the emotions of others by her thinking, helping them by turning them into stones so they wouldn't feel anything. So pretty much like she was able to break that, and then like, she helps them go back into like where they live so that she could get the coat, and then she survived. Like she go back into the sea so she could rehab her energy. And then through that whole thing, the mom comes back. The mom comes back because she like undoes the curse with like the owl's son or whoever, like maybe he's like a protector, I don't know, but the mom comes back, and that was really sad because the girl has to choose either to go with the mom or stay with the dad and the son. And the dad was like don't take her away because like she's all we have, like from you, or something like that, something like that. And the girl chooses them, so that was really nice. That was really sweet. And the mom like apologizes to dad, like tells him like he loves them, but like she has to go. And it's like kind of sad that it had to be like so soon. Like it wasn't like she couldn't stay, like she had to go. So that was pretty like, sad. And like the kid being like, Mom, we have to go. Can't you stay with us? And that was really sad. I was like, I started crying there. But then she does leave, and that's pretty much it. Like I probably didn't explain it properly, and I apologize. But it was a really nice movie. I really like. Oh my god, the sun looks gorgeous. And I need to slow down. So that's pretty much like how that movie reminded me of Inside Out, because it's like we try to repress these emotions, and by repressing our emotions and just being in denial, we forget who we are, we forget our essence, we forget all of that. And it's crazy to like, it seems like so common sense, but it's not. Like we've been programmed to forget who we are. We've been programmed to forget, to not. I mean, I guess it depends on like the culture that you're at, like whatever. Like, but there's certain things where there are certain emotions that are repressed, whether it's like your masculine energy where you don't get to decide for yourself, or whether it's the opposite, like you have to be this independent person, and you can't be nice or protective because people are going to take advantage of you, whatever it is. So we learn all those, we forget all those stuff, and it's like we have to remember who we are by doing certain practices, by becoming more conscious of what we like, what we don't like, why we do certain things, and blah blah blah. So yeah, I think I'll end it there because I am almost home. But with that being said, let me know what you think about those movies. Have you watched the movies? Let me know. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.